Coming up, some Floyd County school employees are asking for more money.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Ahead of the Floyd County Schools Board of Education meeting tonight, employees young and old gathered to advocate for what they call a better future for the school district. WYMT's Zach Hawk has more.
Rallying for a raise.
While we are here, we stand together, we stand united.
Floyd County school employees gathered before the Board of Education meeting Monday to show they are serious about getting a raise.
When the legislature approved the budget, their version of the budget did not include raises for school employees, and they left it up to the local school districts. So we're here to advocate for our raises.
Staff members told the board about their personal struggles, working multiple jobs just to make ends meet.
I live in a 27-year-old trailer. I drive a 10-year-old car. I have been forced to work 2 jobs most of my 18 years working here.
Several other long-serving education veterans advocated for future generations that will one day take over.
If we make increasing salaries a priority, then Floyd County will be able to continue to recruit and retain the best of the best.
Organizers emphasize that any raise needs to be a dollar amount, not percentage-based, to ensure equality for people making $15,000 or less.
A percentage raise of 5% on that $15,000 would only be $750. If you give a percentage raise to someone making $100,000, they would get $5,000, and that is not fair to your employees making less than a living wage.
Board of Education members, including Superintendent Anna Shepard, unanimously support the decision to offer a raise, but say they cannot consider exact amounts until the start of July. In Floyd County, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News.
Superintendent Shepard told us that the fiscal year ends on June 30th, and at that point, the board may review the budget, and she then hopes to consider the topic of a raise by the end of July. Also in Floyd County, a firefighter unexpectedly died while on duty. Investigators say volunteer firefighter Philip Cottle suffered from a heart attack while he was doing traffic control at the Floyd Central High School graduation parade. They say he later died at a hospital. In a Facebook post, the Garrett Area Volunteer Fire Department thanked the community and other Floyd County departments for helping escort Cottle this morning. After 2 drownings in the state this month, Bath County officials are alerting people of the dangers of high water. They say it only takes 6 inches of water to sweep a car off the road, and after 2 recent high water drownings in Kentucky, they say it's important to know what to do when the water rises. They say you should never try to drive through high water because the road could be washed out underneath. Plan ahead and be where you're going to stay before weather moves in.
If it's at this level, then about 2 hours later, it's going to be up to their home, and they will evacuate their home and go ahead and find another place to stay.
With several days of rain in the forecast, it's important to be aware that high water issues could be present, and planning accordingly could save your life.
Which is why we always say whenever we're dealing with a flooding situation, turn around, don't drown. You never know how deep that water is under the surface of the road, and you don't know if that roadway is washed out, so always good advice there. Our rain for tonight anyway looks to be mostly finished. However, we've replaced a lot of it with some patchy fog around the mountains. In fact, it's thick as pea soup outside right now. High knob camera at UVA-wise, at least in some spots. Mid-50s out there, plenty of fog into southwest Virginia right now. Not as much into downtown Whitesburg. In fact, our observation there has visibility of 10 miles, but that temperature and dew point at the same level with the calm winds. That's a recipe for fog, especially with all the moisture we've had around today. Some of us got to near 70 today, but most of us only managed the low 60s around the mountains. Middle and upper 50s for most, and temperatures really don't look to drop as we head into tonight. There are those visibility numbers, especially further east where they had the rain hang on longer. 4-mile visibility here in Hazard, 0.8 of a mile in Pikeville, and just 0.3 of a mile in Wise, and 0 in Logan, West Virginia. The last of our rain has pushed out of the region, caused severe weather across portions of the Carolinas. a little bit earlier on today, and we've also got severe weather in the panhandle of Texas. We have been caught in the middle with just a little bit of rainfall this afternoon, but more showers and storms are headed our way from that system out in the plains as we head later on in the week. For tonight, mostly cloudy and foggy, temperatures down into the low to middle and upper 50s. There we go. Middle and upper 50s overnight. I'll have the very latest on when that next round of storms looks to move in coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, definitely a little cooler out there tonight. Thank you. Pulaski County Sheriff Greg Speck says a Louisville man was arrested on numerous drug charges today. He says deputies were called to a home on Grundy Road outside of Somerset, where a car had driven in front of a home multiple times and a gun was spotted in one of the windows. When the car was seen again, deputies pulled over driver Michael Ray Hardy and found a long list of drugs, including cocaine, meth, and several types of prescription pills. Deputies also found nearly $15,000 in cash, a clear glass pipe, a Glock 27, and an AR pistol. Hardy was arrested and faces a number of charges. He's being held in the Pulaski County Detention Center and was arraigned Monday. A preliminary hearing is set for June 1st. Responding to emergencies is getting more expensive. First responders say their fuel budgets for the year are already busted. Lincoln County Sheriff Kurt Folger says he budgeted $60,000 for fuel last year and $85,000 this year. At the end of April, he says his department had already spent $40,000 on fuel. Lincoln County volunteer firefighters tell us many of their crews drive directly to fires instead of coming to the station first. And police say high fuel costs are limiting their ability to patrol.
With gas the way it is, these guys are really, they're spending a lot of money to do this job that doesn't pay them anything.
It's going to tear us up. Case in point, just we'll have to probably do a lot more setting in areas than patrolling in areas.
Departments tell us they may soon have to take more cost-cutting measures. First responders say they are already trying to handle calls over the phone if at all possible. The Biden administration is considering an emergency declaration to help ease the diesel shortage in the U.S. That would allow President Biden to release fuel from a stockpile that's rarely used. It's called the Northeast Home Heating Oil Reserve, and diesel has only been pulled from there once before. That was in the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy in 2012. Some analysts say the impact of the release would be minimal, relatively speaking, and only help for a short period of time. Diesel fuel is a major factor for the U.S. economy because it's used to power farm and construction equipment, as well as the vehicles that transfer goods nationwide. Local, state, and federal leaders, along with Volunteers of America officials, gathered in Manchester today to unveil the One Clay County initiative. This project aims to revitalize downtown Manchester, attracting new businesses and creating new jobs. During this announcement, officials also revealed that the EKU Manchester campus will be offering an associate's in nursing degree beginning next year, hoping to help combat the nursing shortage and offer more opportunities here in the region.
Everything here today was really big. I've used huge 2 or 3 times. It's really big, but when you think we're 8,000 nurses short and we can educate our own right here in Manchester for this town and the region, that's significant. That's really significant in doing what we need to do in healthcare.
Those at the unveiling announced that they will begin the nursing program with 20 students at the EKU Manchester facility. The Harlan County Beer Company is getting closer to opening. Owners expect it to happen sometime this summer. The brewery has been a work in progress, from renovating an abandoned historic building downtown to turning it into a new business for Harlan Countyans to enjoy. But the owners believe the beer company has the chance to be more than just a brewery downtown.
For me, it's about kind of acupuncture and revitalization. So like you take one historic building that was falling down and neglected and you kind of overinvest in it, and then you have this positive ripple effect. So we really want this building to have a positive ripple effect throughout Kentucky's Appalachia.
Owners say they hope the brewery eventually becomes a destination for people outside of Harlan County as well, potentially planning festivals and block parties right on the street and building a stronger sense of community in the area. The Lawrence County community is still celebrating a victory for one of its own. Last night, Noah Thompson secured his title as this year's American Idol. The former carpenter has built up a fan base and country music career in front of the eyes of everyone watching and cheering him on. That pride has been pouring through the Lawrence County community for weeks, with the excitement of the homecoming party last week met with his win last night. Some say it's been a lot to take in, but they are proud to be part of it all.
We've looked at ourselves the past 10 days and just said, what is life? You know, we've talked to Ricky Skaggs, we've talked to Billy Ray Cyrus, we've talked to all these famous people, and more importantly, we've talked to Noah Thompson, and he's excited, and he's ready to get to work on an album.
Noah is the first Eastern Kentuckian and first Kentuckian to win American Idol in 20 seasons. And that accomplishment is something his friends and fans say will always remind everyone to dream big. Noah's debut single, One Day Tonight, is currently the #1 song on iTunes. Performing it live in his hometown of Louisa last week, the song is instantly becoming a hit. The song has been streamed nearly 224,000 times on Spotify and debuted at #3 on the iTunes country charts. But one of the writers will tell you it's been a long time coming for One Day Tonight to have its time in the spotlight.
We wrote this song, I mean, it's probably a couple years old now at this point. I mean, we were all fired up about it. We thought that song was like a no-brainer. We thought, man, we got gold here, you know, but you never know. And so, you know, that happens. Sometimes you think that and it doesn't, and then sometimes you think, oh, this song, and then someone cuts it and it's a hit, and you're like, really? You know, like it works both ways.
In an Instagram post, Noah said he fell in love with the song the first time he heard it. Brett Shirosky, the writer, says he hasn't always actually met Noah yet, but says he'd love to work with him and get some more hits on country radio. Still to come at 11, check your pantries for peanut butter involved in a recall, how it's having an impact on food pantries.
But first, showers and storms are working toward the region for later in the week. I've got the breakdown on the way next.
This is what my recovery looks like. That means rolling up my sleeves and getting dirty.